I'm recording this to express my feeling about this man called Boniface Mwangi, and by extension to the Gen Z. If you follow what people say, there is a general feeling that I don't like Raila. But Raila has one advantage that Gen Z do not have. Raila can bring a lot of problems. Raila can make the country be on standstill. But the advantage of Raila is one. Every time he creates a problem, there is a center of command. There is a center of command. Can you underline that? Why do I say a center of command? This is somebody with clear points. This is something, okay, I know the clear points, how it ends, because there's a time he was gifted by being given a molasses plant. There's a time nusu mkate. There's a time. There is a time. There is a time. There is. But then we have one switch. Just go to him. And I don't know. Can you look at it the way I'm trying to? Maybe I'm not clear, but can you look at the way I'm seeing the advantage of Raila? It's two. One, we have a centralized place where you just go. You sit down and you decide. And the good thing about Raila is that when he has accepted to cooperate, he cooperates fully. To an extent where some people even say, see no evil, do no evil. That is one thing. He can do something. And another thing, a good thing about Raila is that, yes, he is the alternative. And that is the second point, first of all, is very important. The alternative of what to do. I'm not wrong if I equate Raila to Rohola Khomeini. The age of Gen Zs today is average of 30 years. The Gen Zs of 1979 in Tehran were just like this. Visionless, whatever, just wanting to be seen and heard, and said, Wazee, your time is over. It is time for us to take over. The same age with our boys and girls who are in Kenya now. But there is one advantage that the Tehran youths had. They had a Raila. They had a Raila called Rohola Khomeini. They made the country ungovernable. They made their country ungovernable. But when the Shah Mohammed Raza Parveza, left the country, they said, go to Paris. Rohola Khomeini was exiled in Paris. They said, go to Paris, bring our leader. Rohola Khomeini was brought from Paris, and he came. And in fact, he said, I don't want to be the president. I want to be just the spiritual leader. A centralized place where, you see, it is good to have a centralized leader who, let's forget about his intention. Let's forget about him wanting to gain a thing here or whatever. After all, si hata ukiwatch hii video, mi na gain something. There's nothing for free this world, But we should have an alternative. The Gen Zs are now saying Ruto must go. Look at the times that Raila has caused problems. Look in 1982, when he went and bought a vehicle and gave it to Ochuka. You see, there was a command. If Moi would have been overthrown in 1982, somebody would have taken over, isn't it? And so on and so on and so on. Where Raila has succeeded is that you can trace so many interests. Is it commercial? Is it political? Is it whatever? To him. And he has alternative plans. Every time he has issues that here and there and whatever, is that when people go to the streets and say, hatutaki hii serikali, saba saba, nane nane, and so on. Raila has always had this, if the current government fails, tuko na mikakati ya kureplace it. Young people, and that is why I have a lot of madharau to Boniface Mwangi. And I'm telling young people, we can burn down our country. We can restart it. How many countries have restarted? Germany, Japan during the Second World War. But they usually have somebody whom they can go around and he leads them into national development from scratch. We have had people saying South Korea, is it Malaysia and whatever? They used to be like Kenya that time. And if you ask about how did Malaysia become a super tiger, they'll tell you Malaysia became a super tiger because they followed a certain leader. Now let us look at these revolutions without a figurehead. Let's go to Lebanon, 1974. 1974, Lebanon started their civil war, where you could not know who is who. It only reached a place where they divided themselves into three. There was the Shia Muslims, and there was the Shiite Muslims, and then there was the Christian. Then they said the president will always be supplied by the Christian. I don't know, Shiite Muslims will always be supplying speakers and whatever. So if you are, if you belong to that group, Shia Muslims who are supposed to produce speaker, even if you are as good as whatever, you stand a less chance than a useless Christian who wants to be the president. Because in the constitution of Lebanon, the president must be a Christian. But they came out with a very funny formula, which I think you are laughing, but it has stabilized the country. The other thing that we have with countries that do not have leaders. Take our neighbors here, Khartoum. Take Khartoum. You see it is burning down. There's no alternative. Which other place can I take? And that one now comes to me for me to talk about Boniface Mwangi. Boniface Mwangi, if you look at him, he's not like you and me. Of course, he's like me, because today, if I went to the American embassy and asked for a political asylum, I would be granted. What about you? He is on record having said, having sent his family to the US. He just woke up one day, took his wife to US and children, and the children started reading the American system, and then they came back to Kenya and continued with the Kenyan syllabus. That is Boniface Mwangi for you. That is Boniface Mwangi for you. And if you study Boniface Mwangi for good, you see he is supported by foreign NGOs for this mandamano. He's paid. I can tell you that since Gen Z started, his bank account is filling up like a balloon. I want to say that, of course, everybody knows where my mother comes from, but my mother's tribe, they like clean money. They like clean money. They like clean money. They don't like dirty money. But Boniface Mwangi appears more interested in getting money in whatever way. Boniface Mwangi, don't ban our country for your selfish interest. I don't know why a person like Willy Mutunga is associating himself with Boniface Mwangi. First of all, I always believe that as a retired Chief Justice, Willy Mwangi should play a background role. I strongly believe that. There is need. Don't be like Uhuru Moigai Kenyatta, who is still active in politics. I would want to believe that once you have retired, you should reach an extent where your personal feelings and whatever are restrained. I don't know why the former Chief Justice is associating himself with Nani, but if given 1,000 Koinange street ladies and one Boniface Mwangi, I would quickly go for the Koinange ladies. This is somebody who is immoral. This is somebody who has no principle. His principle is to see things being ungovernable. Lastly, I want to say is that you have a right. Nothing stops you from effecting the thing that a president must be under 35, but do it under uh, the way, constitutional means. You cannot change, like Professor Otienda Amolo once said, you cannot use unconstitutional routes to change the constitution. Thank you.